Good morning, friendos. We have other friendos to add in. We have a Neva and a Julie also. Oh, and a Margaret.
Oh, look at that. This is a familiar group.
This looks like familiar faces that I just seen chatting together on another stream.
Yeah.
Oh, and we also have a Raja.
Oh, that's the important person.
An excellent addition to all of us.
Pet Raja.
Yes, she climbed into my arms and said, "Please let me snuggle."
Yeah.
And as I am half asleep, that's fine with me.
Oh, I have to start. I think I mentioned this in the group chat. In a group chat. I don't remember which one. I have to start working on my dad again to convince him to help let me get a dog. Because he's like, I don't think you'll take care of it. To my mother, not to me, to my mother. And I'm like, and my mom's like, well, maybe if you did more of your chores more often, maybe if you stopped charging me rent, I'd do my chores. But I pay to be here, so I shouldn't have to do what I don't want to do.
That's fair.
Like, number one, it's a living creature. I'm not going to ignore it like I do the vacuuming. Number two, she's not going to backseat dog me. She backseat vacuums me all the time.
My house, the rule is if you don't like the way I do something, you can just do it yourself.
Yeah.
There you go.
I am living in my parents' house, so
also same.
Also same, but listen. I just had a talk with my dad yesterday, and I was like, "Listen, when the roommate moves out, I'll be a happier person. Until then, this is what you get." She drives me nuts. Okay.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm just like, you wouldn't be doing that. Like, we have a robot vacuum at this point. They're just asking me to do it. Because they can.
We have a robot vacuum also, but I hate it because it takes forever. And the dogs are antsy the whole time, the cats are antsy the whole time. It's loud. It just I have to close certain doors because it can't clean my room or Danica's room because it gets lost. Yeah. And so when she's not here, I just run a regular vacuum.
Yeah.
And she gets mad because I run the regular vacuum. I'm like, why do you care? I'm physically vacuuming.
I get that you do still need to occasionally do human vacuuming because it's not going to, especially in our house, it's not going to get everything. I don't get everything either, to be honest.
Yeah. I have a stick vacuum with a battery, and the battery never does the whole house. So I have a path. And so I start on one side the first day, and whenever, and it'll stop 3/4 of the way through. And so the next day I start on the other side and get 3/4 of the way through. And I just do that every day. So some part in the middle only gets every other day, but
Oh, you will never see me vacuuming every day. Nope. I don't have as many dogs and cats as you do, though.
Yeah, I have 2 dogs that shed literal tumbleweeds. Like you'll just see a fall of hair roll across the floor.
You have a shepherd, right? You have an Australian shepherd, right?
I have 2, yeah.
Yeah, of course you have.
Front lines of a hair war.
I feel like those dogs have the coat of 3 different dogs. 3 dogs worth of hair.
It depends on the dog, definitely, because some have Aussies are weird. Some are more smooth, and some have a very thick undercoat. And Flash has that thick undercoat, and it's just white, floofy. I mean, literally, you can take them outside and brush them and get a 5-gallon bucket of hair every single day. I don't know how they have that much hair and still have hair on their bodies, but it's...
I mean, I don't know how I shed as much as I do and still have hair on my head, so...
Also, same.
I'm sorry. There's someone in the background dancing.
No, there would never be anybody in the background.
That was really funny. Just...
We wouldn't have that here. Let us say hello to our friends since we're all here. We have a Tennille. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Hello, hello. I'm assuming that that's Aoife's way of saying that she made it.
Made it, yeah. I had a feeling that my autocorrect maybe got a hold of her for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Try it again. I made a hat today and I'm still riding on the high. I have not read since. Okay.
Good for you, Aoife.
Mhm.
Way to go. Let's see. This is my partner and I do our own laundry, even though we share almost all other chores because I don't like the way you do it. So I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah, I mean, my mom had us doing our own laundry. Actually, no, I was helping with the laundry at a very young age, and my mom was like, told my brother, "You get to do your own at some point." She was like, "You're grown enough. You get to do it." I don't even remember what I don't even think it was anything weird. She just was like, "Nope, not doing this anymore," because he did something that pissed her off.
Both of my parents worked. We were very poor, and they worked multiple jobs.
Yeah.
And so by the time I was 6, everything in the house was my responsibility. Like,
Jesus. You're the oldest, right?
No, I'm the youngest.
Oh, no, you're the youngest. Wow, that's not how it usually works.
No. It was because my brother is so much older than me.
Oh, that's right.
You know how boys get treated. They're, they're the babies. Like, he had to, like, mow the grass and do stuff like that.
Well,
but as far as, like...
I'm okay with, like, splitting chores that way if they're even. I think the hard thing about, like, mowing the grass and, like, doing stuff around, like, doing house, like, working on the house is that it just ends up being, like, stuff that only needs to happen once or twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then something like laundry for a family that was as big as yours, you probably are having to do multiple times a week.
Oh, yeah. I was doing the laundry. I was the one who had to clean the house. I made dinner every night.
Yeah.
As a 6-year-old, I would pull a chair up to the stove and call my mom's boss, who was a woman, and I would say, "Hey, Mom told me that this is what we're supposed to have for dinner. These are the things she left me out," and she would tell me step by step how to make the dinner.
Wow.
And I did that from a very, like I said, I was like 6 or 7 when we
I
started.
was probably 13-ish when I started making dinners. And that's not a bad time to have your kids start learning how to cook and making stuff and be contributing to that. Like, I have no problem. I have a problem with the fact that the reason I started making dinners was so my dad wouldn't have to get up because he had a nighttime job. So he wouldn't have to get up to feed us.
Yeah.
So it was my job to feed everyone and not his job. Like, my mom would have had to get up early. Why didn't he?
I was also like 6 or 7 taking care of siblings, making dinner.
Yeah.
But I am the oldest, but even so, like, it's made it so that the sibling relationships are a little weird now because it's very, like, parentified.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So even though all my siblings, like my youngest sibling at this point that I raised is 16, but like to me, I'm like, I will look at
your mom.
I raised all of you better than this, so shape it.
That's funny. My mom was a stay-at-home mom and we were homeschooled, so that was not an issue. And there was only 2 of us, so she didn't have to co-opt me into helping care for anybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes, do all right. Oh, we already read that from Aoife. Aoife did film her physical TBR.
Very nice.
And I don't know how much is on there, but those can be rough sometimes.
I mean, probably less than is on mine. And I think I'm the low end of the group.
I don't know who I watched the other day do a physical TBR, but they had like 700 and some books. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing too bad.
No, that's
I definitely don't have that many. Currently, I have all except I think there's one more bucket downstairs that I couldn't carry up the stairs. I'm already gonna get yelled at for carrying the 2 buckets up the stairs that I did and moving the shelf upstairs. But
you can pace yourself. You know your own limits.
Truthfully, like the 2 buckets that I did carry up here weren't very heavy. They each had like 10 books in them. Okay, they weren't like the rest of the books.
That's nothing.
Manually. Okay, but I have probably half of the books that I haven't read already up here on this shelf.
Nice.
But I definitely have like 3 buckets full of books that are read. So I have a very small physical TBR, but we won't talk about the Kindle TBR. That's 3,000 books.
No one's going to mention it. None of us are going to mention it.
Doesn't exist.
But my physical books, I mean, I at one point I had more read physical books than I did unread, which I think now they're pretty even just because I've bought books in the last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My goal is to get my physical TBR so that it can be on the top of the 3 shelves that I have. I don't, if it stays to that size, I'm happy with it because I want to get rid of this desk. Like we're going to get rid of the desk. We're going to move all of the bookshelves this way and I'm going to put a chair in that corner and I will have a lot more space.
I would like to get mine back to 2 shelves instead of what should be 4 because I have 3 full and then plus things stacked in the front.
Yeah.
So I would like to get it back to 2.
Yeah, I'd like to have mine down to like 2-ish, maybe a little less.
I've probably got 5 shelves worth because there's 2.5. 1.5 are stacked in the front. Plus those ones are end out. Like I got to the point where I had to put them where they're like stacked this way, but also like the bottom is facing out because there wasn't even enough room to turn them so that they were spine out.
Yeah.
It's a little scary over there. I have an idea of what's behind it. It's fine.
I believe in y'all. I believe in you.
We can do it.
Jen is here and reading Onyx Storm today. Roommate doesn't do chores or pay the rent. They're my kids. Listen.
I mean, at some point they'll be old enough that they can start helping out with chores, though. You just hang on till then. I do believe children should help out with chores. I just don't think they should be everyone's. They should be one person's responsibility. You gotta teach the kids somehow.
Tennille disappeared for a bit, so she's halfway through the last chatty bit and wants Neva to know that she also really liked Seventh Bride.
Yeah, I really liked it. I didn't know if I would like it or not. It was part of the December KU clean out, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but I'm like, okay. Yeah. But I think I gave it 4.5 or 5 stars.
Nice.
Hello, gamer. Chrissy has 4 Aussies, and one has so much undercoat, one is normal, and the other 2 are sleek and smooth. I, at one point, also had 4 Aussies, and I feel for you, my friend, because that is... I had 2 of the really thick undercoat ones. Our old Aussie, the one that we had for 17 years, who was the first one that we got, she had so much hair. Just...
Yeah.
I mean,
Goldens are like that too. I have my friend Cal has 2 bitches. And Briar is like Briar sets my allergies off just being around me. Whereas Cassie, as long as she's not like literally on top of me, I'm fine. Like I can be around her, I can pet her, as long as she's not like trying to crawl into my skin, we're good.
I mean, bonuses.
I don't even know. She did one thing last time I was around them that set my allergies off, but I was fine. It was wild. I was like, this is so weird. I'm not used to this.
Hello, Maria. Nearly done doing my happy color, so she'll be able to pick up beautiful creatures soon.
Nice.
Oh, has 2 bitches. Good for him. I mean,
he does have 2 bitches too.
Also,
well, he has a bitch and then whatever the non-binary equivalent is for dogs.
You know, I think that bitches also applies. They sometimes like to be included. It's fine. Lindsay is here. Good morning. Aoife says, Margaret, what is your number? I'll say higher or lower.
I'm at 74, I think.
I think I'm at like 137.
Yeah, so I was at 100 and I might be 160 something. I don't know. It's in my video that I did.
I don't even think I'm at 100. I'm gonna be honest.
It grew. It definitely grew last year. Yeah, I told you, Aoife.
I'm like in the mid 70s, so.
Maria has 12 books on their TBR, not including the book I'm reading.
I started out at a deficit because I had a friend be like, hey, I know you're starting a book blog. Way a long time ago. I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm getting rid of because I'm a bookseller. Do you want it? And she let me go through her box of books when I was up hanging out with her in Gainesville. And yeah, so a lot of these are still from then.
Tennille says Seventh Bride is a Bluebeard retelling, part of the T. Kingfisher short fairy tale retellings. Yep. Oh, hello, Merlin. Welcome. Are you guys going to be friends? Nope. Hey, quit being mean. Not going to be friends today. Aoife is lower with multiple down arrows. Multiple.
Yeah.
Good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Amy.
We are going to get started with some sprinty sprints because I am only here for 2 hours today, and then we're going to hop over to Margaret's channel. Margaret's picking up the back half of my live show because I have a nephew's birthday party.
Good timing. Good timing, Raja.
Yeah. She decided she was going to stretch and leave. I think it's because Merlin just walked over and she smacked Merlin in the face, and then, you know, Kelly has 5 or 6 on her TBR.
Nice.
I'm jealous. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know where I want to be. I like having choices, but also
I feel like the number is never going to be 0.
Right.
But I would like to cut it down to a little bit more reasonable number. And I've done better, I think, about buying. Usually, here's the thing is I primarily buy books that I already have read.
Me too.
Because I don't like owning books I'm not going to like or I don't like. So I just cut out the step where I have to get rid of them.
The fact that my unread books will most likely all fit on this 1-9 shelf.
Mm-hmm.
I'm comfortable with that because one of these shelves will actually be emptied once I get a TBR cart here in a month, because one of the shelves is my February TBR.
Yeah.
So once I have a TBR cart, then whatever that month's TBR is won't even be on the shelves anymore.
Yeah.
Ferrari, come say hi. Just come say hi first. No,
where's your best friend Ari?
Hello.
Hi, Ari.
Hello. Hello.
All right, go downstairs, eat your snack. Don't eat all the snacks, bro. You need those to get through the school week. Okay, goodbye. Okay.
I want a snack or breakfast, whatever works.
We'll see.
Visits from 2 kitties, you know. I do have 2 cats. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying before, Raja rudely interrupted me. We are only going to be here for 2 hours, so we're going to do a 45-minute sprint first. And then the second one probably will only be about a half hour because we are chatty bitches. And that's just how the cookie do crumble sometimes.
Yep.
So if everybody is ready, I will hit a button and we will sprinty sprint. Actually, first I'll check and make sure it's on 1x speed.
Yeah. Did that happen recently?
No, but I always check because I do it all. I used to do it all the time. Like all the time. I'm terrible.
I might be back in 45 minutes. I'm going for my walk. Okay. So while it's sunny and nice out.
I'm going to have some breakfast because I woke up a half hour ago. So
yeah, I'll get there.
It's all good. All right, guys. See y'all in 45. No one got to hear me go, oh no, I hit a button. Hello, friends. We are back. Maybe. Just me? Just Julie?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Neva's reading. Margaret's probably still on her walk.
I'm here. I'm just showing my page.
Okay.
Okay.
Listen, I hit too many wrong buttons, so I was like, am I the only one who heard the sounds of the sound? Was it just me? Is it me, Jesus? How did you do that sprint, Julie?
Good. I did film my TBR roles for next month, so now I just have to pick the books and film the video. So that's done, and I decided what I'm going to have for lunch, so that'll be what I do next sprint. So
fair enough. How did Miss Neva do?
I made it to page 52.
Okay.
And I closed my eyes.
I mean,
that's what I did. And then my dad came out here and was like, you want me to close the blinds? And I was like, no, I'm not trying to actually sleep. Okay. I'm just trying to rest my eyes. So just.
This is an eye resting situation, Father.
Just a little bit. Just a lot of slow blinks.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's like, are you sleeping? And I was like, no, my eyes are just closed.
I don't have that. If I close my eyes for about 30 seconds, I'm asleep. Unless I'm trying to sleep. In which case, never.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Let's see. We had some friends join us. CJ jumped in and is working on their thesis project. That sounds like a whole task and a half. Kendra also popped in, has been chasing the baby around all morning, hoping to get some reading in, but nap time is running late. Babies do be babies sometimes. Jen got to 56% and started making some lunch. Tennille, that sprint, decided that Flamefall is not for me. I was on the edge anyway. Fireborn affected my mood, and this one is heavier, so I'm going to let the series go. Wow, that was hard for me to read, and I don't know why. But yes, that's always good. I did that. I've done that with TV shows before, where I really like the show, but every week is just like an emotional, depressing mess. And I'm already an emotional, depressing mess, and I don't need anybody to help me be in that position. And so I've had to like walk away.
Fair enough.
Just as like I really like this show, but I can't be depressed every week. Not like this.
Mm-hmm. I can't bring you down that much.
Yeah. Now to find spoilers to know the end of the story. And I'm sure you absolutely can, because that's a pretty well-known series. So you should be able to find those. So Luna got to 80% in Beautiful Creatures, which is fantastic. You're almost there. Let us know how you're enjoying that first book. That series gets kind of weird. Have you read that series, Julie?
I've read the first book, but I can't remember if I read the rest.
I did probably 2017 or 2018.
Let's see if Goodreads can tell me. Did I read these books?
Did I read these?
I remember it being weird, but I don't remember if that's just the first book or if I went down the whole rabbit hole.
I definitely took a trip down the entire rabbit hole. It's a very strange series, but it has some really lovable characters, which in YA is really all I need. Like in YA, the story can be a hot mess, but as long as I like the characters, I'm fine.
Yeah. I remember having all the books because they were purple, blue, yellow, and green, like spines.
Yeah, something like that.
But I have no memory.
Mine, I think, are in the other room. I think they're in Danica's room on the, what's that word? The nostalgia shelf. because they're not in here.
I don't think they exist in my house anymore. They might still be at my parents'. That's a good question that I will someday find out when they finally make me clean everything out of their house. But but I don't know right now.
Kelly got some studying done, took a first look at a major assignment for my human resources class. So Luna says the first book started super slow, but now the revelations are happening and it's keeping me interested. Yeah, that's kind of how I think the rest of it goes too, is like some big stuff happens like every book, major things, and it just kind of keeps rolling. I also read the sequel series that there was only 2 books of. I don't think they finished. Like, I think they didn't sell well enough to really have like a complete end.
Yeah.
But I read that as well.
Goodreads says I've read the first 2. Interesting. Why did I quit?
And then she was like, I don't like these.
I gave them both 4 stars.
I don't know then.
Yeah, I probably left it go too long and was like, I don't remember anything.
I saw the Beautiful Creatures movie while in lockdown. Not sure if that tainted it for me. And Selena says the movie was not it. The only thing that was right was the casting for the character of Ridley, and the rest of the movie was bad and ridiculous and was so different from the book. Yeah. But see, the thing is, I like the movie, but I like the book and the movie for different reasons, which is typically how I go with the adaptations. I am one of few people that I have met in my life who can look at both separately, as like both can be good for different reasons. Like my favorite is Vampire Academy. It's my favorite example because the book, the movie, and the TV series are 3 completely different things.
Yeah.
But I love all 3 of them.
Pretty Little Liars is like that too. The show is completely different from the books. So, which she did on purpose, but like it's also a thing of like I've heard people compare the Pretty Little Liars show to the books, and I was like, that you can't, because they are like the plot lines are completely different. Like the only thing that is the same are the names of the characters, but everything else is different.
The Vampire Academy book and movie are similar, but it's not the movie is not as dark. The movie is more like campy and funny, whereas the book is pretty dark. The TV series is like a fan fiction. It is a whole other beast. I loved it. It was so good. It only had 1 season, of course, because that's how all of my favorite things go.
Mm-hmm.
But it was done so well. Like the cinematography and the costuming and their characters was all really, really well done. But it was like a fan fiction. It was like the characters' names were the same. Their personalities were mostly the same. But everything that was happening was like a whole different world. But it was a good time. Hello.
Sometimes that's what we need, though. A good time.
I'm just here for a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Can I help you? Yes, there was a Vampire Academy TV series. It was on Peacock. That's another reason why it didn't do so well, because it was never on like actual TV. It was just on their streaming. But it was really good. I liked it. What are you doing, Raj? Trying to jump to her shelf unsuccessfully because my desk is so messy she can't get up there.
I was gonna say that looks like she didn't quite make it.
She made it after a minute. Tino says, I prefer adaptations to be vastly different than the book because they can't be exactly the same due to limitations of the medium. So just make a good movie. Yeah, agreed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was like me with Fallen. I read the first book and the movie was super different, but I love them both. I haven't watched the movie. It's on, I think it's available for free on YouTube, but I haven't watched it.
I didn't know there was a Fallen movie.
Well, there was only the one. It also didn't do well, but that doesn't mean it's bad. So,
right.
I mean,
yeah,
it's a time.
This is also how I felt about the Shadowhunters
Oh yeah.
movie then series. Like, I had fun with both of those adaptations, even though like they ended.
Yeah, the movie was a lighter version of the book, which, to be fair, you're never getting all of that into that movie.
Yeah.
And they also tried to, they made sure in the movie that you didn't think that they were brother and sister, whereas in the book, you're not given that opportunity to not think that they're brother and sister. Like, they give you an exact moment in the movie where they're like, we're going to lie to them and tell them that they're brother and sister. But in the books, you didn't get that. So as a reader, you were just like, I'm sorry, what now? Except I watched the movie before I read the book, so I was okay. But everybody else, not so much.
When we lived it in real time, it was scarier.
Yeah. But then the TV series, like much like Vampire Academy, was same characters, same personalities, completely different world. Like, because it was so technological and there was a lot more things going on. So
I feel like they did a good job updating, honestly.
Yeah.
Like when she wrote City of Bones, not everyone had a cell phone and we didn't have computers in our pockets and things like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that was a necessary change. I liked the TV show. I thought they were doing a good job with it, to be honest. Like, I don't hate that they did either. I liked the movie. I liked the TV show. I know people are like, eh.
No, I like both.
I like both. And I think it's just as it was Netflix.
No adaptation is going to be exactly perfect.
Or exactly the same.
Yeah. You've got it. There are things have to change. The key is to preserve the spirit of the thing and not necessarily the exact details.
What are you doing, asshole?
I read 34 pages, if anyone was wondering, on my walk.
That's excellent.
Nice.
Did you enjoy your walk?
Yeah, it was nice and warm.
Good.
A lot warmer than outside or inside my house right now.
She heard you talking, wants to participate, or she wants to be admired because she's so pretty. No, she just wants to be an asshole.
You're like, she's a cat.
She's a cat. It didn't do well, but they made a TV series of Fallen now. It gets to release in February. Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, interesting. I knew about the movie.
Yeah, I knew about the movie. I didn't know there was a TV series. Definitely a Luke and Leia moment, for sure. Tempted by Innocent Mage. It looks right up my alley. I also am tempted.
Better than Brittany and I thought it was going to be. We were not expecting it to be this good. Like, it's still probably going to be like a three-star read for me. But like, it's really interesting. It's really engaging. The only thing that I've had to say about this is like, neither of us care if these characters live or die. But like, the stuff going on in this world is so fascinating. It doesn't matter. Like, we're having a good time reading it. Right. So.
Well, I heard you compare it yesterday to Robin Hobb.
Yes, it's like Robin Hobb light when it comes to, I think, the world building and some of the politics, but we still have like a like magic family and like weather working going on. I do think that the character work is better. Not to offend the Hobb stands here. I do think, especially when it comes to the female characters, the character work is better. I don't know yet, Tennille, if it's depressing. Right now, I'm just concerned about everything. But like, the setup is you have it. What I've likened it to a lot is like kind of the idea of Ivanhoe, a lot about like the Norman, if you know anything about the Norman conquest of England, when the French came in and took over from the Angles and the Saxons. So like, we're dealing with a royal family that's able to use a specific magic that is necessary for the protection of the world. And then you have the Ulkers, who are the original people who lived there and welcomed the royal family and their people in. So we have like this kind of stratified society where you have these people that can use magic that are in charge of everything, and then you have the Ulkers. And it's reminding me very much of how the Angles and Saxons were treated when the Normans came in. So like I said,
I just have the struggle with Robin Hobb that she literally spent 6 pages describing the texture and writability of paper.
that doesn't happen in this book.
And that's why I quit reading Robin Hobb, because I feel like it's too worldy.
Yeah.
And so that's why it interests me, because I'm like, oh, like less descriptive than Robin. I could get into that.
True Elderlings fans are probably offended that I have compared the two, but like the situations are very similar. Kind of.
I mean, I feel like sometimes with certain fandoms, it's hard not to offend people. Comparing it to anything.
No, and it's not too hard to offend that fandom.
They don't like it when I talk about it being 6 pages. No, just 6, not 60. Just 6 pages.
Yeah.
Which is still 5.5 too many. But.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Yes. She's very. I guess you would call her grimdark. I don't think she is, based on what I know of other stuff that's grimdark. Like, she's grimdark like light, in my opinion. I have issue with her because she makes the rape of her female main character a plot point in 2 different books. And we have to deal with one of the rapists being heroized, which is it's a commentary for sure, but it just felt at that point in the series felt unnecessary. And I have a beef with her about that. And I will forever have a beef with her about that.
Well, and I think that was common in the time frame that those books were being written. Yeah. Because I have that same issue with a Mercedes Lackey book. Only in one that I have read so far. But there is one book where the hero is a rapist.
Yeah. I feel like you can tell which wave of feminism Robin Hobb stopped paying attention when you read her books. Like, she's very, like, she was progressive, I think, for the time, but I don't think we talk enough about, like, what's going on with, like, what's in her books, and, like, the fact that, like, because if it was my thing is, my biggest problem is if she were a male author, we would be talking about this a lot. But because she's female, we don't talk about the issues with how she treats her female characters. So.
Well, and Lackey is the same way. Like the Valdemar series, the first trilogy, there is, and this was written the first book was written in 1987.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a couple that is, they're not a throuple because one of the characters dies. But it is discussed that, like, had that person continued to live, the 3 of them would have been in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were working towards that kind of a relationship, but then one of the characters dies in, like, this big, massive thing. There are also lesbian characters, and it's not looked at as weird.
Yeah.
Like, they're public, they're open. It's not, like, stigmatized in any way, shape, or form.
She's way ahead of her time then.
It was very well done for that aspect of it. It's a Black Swan retelling where the hero is like this prince. Like, I can understand it from the standpoint of he's this prince. He's had women throwing at him forever. Like, basically every woman that he has ever met sleeps with him, but he does at one point sleep with someone who doesn't want to sleep with him. But because of the way that he has grown up, he doesn't, let's call it like the affluenza of it all. Like, he doesn't realize that that's what's happening. And so he does, like, come to regret that at a later point and does grow from it. But it still is like a big plot point that I'm just like, I have a hard time rooting for a hero who is a rapist.
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, you see that stuff, and it's so fictional, because people who actually do that shit so very seldom have that moment where they're like, oh shit.
Yeah. And I think it was, I'm not going to say I think it was well done, but I think it was, for the time period, understandable that you would write a character who was like that desirable by everyone, and that he wouldn't think, like, no one had ever told him no. So why would this one person, I don't know. But I didn't finish reading the book, let's put it that way. Like, I read things where it said that, like, he had been redeemed later on in the book, but people still had the ick about it. And so I DNF'd the book. That is one that I DNF'd during the Amazing Readathon at 50% in the middle of a sentence. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I have some of those. Yeah.
We're just the ones saying the quiet part out loud. I'm sorry. Like, we are the canary in the coal mine for the way that fascism is taking over
we are
the world.
Canary in the coal mine.
And our government is louder about it, but other governments are just as racist. So, like, we have not gotten rid of the racism or the misogyny or the transphobia inherent. So it's a worldwide problem.
We were also done by Glenda. We do need to do another sprint because if not, we're not going to get another one in. And we're probably only going to do a 20-minute sprint. It's 12:30.
I'm so sorry. I came and I threw everything off.
You are.
Y'all just scared my mom, by the way, because I forgot to mute the tab before I left.
I mean, I'm not mad about it.
Yep.
But we'll do a 20-minute sprint, and then we will come back and we'll wrap up, and then we'll head over to Margaret's they'll head over to Margaret's. I have to run away to.
Yeah, you have to run away, and I'm sorry for it.
I have to go hang out with my favorite 3-year-old. So
unfortunate.
It's so sad.
I'm here.
It's the button I want. Ta-da! That's the button I want. But I want this button also. Grazie. Prego. Okay. We're going to do 20 minutes, and we will see you guys when we get back.
Beautiful.
Hello, friendos. We are back. Let us know how you did. Friends on screen. How did you did?
I made it to chapter 7. I have no idea what page. So
What is reading?
it looks like page 70.
Are you enjoying that book?
Yeah, I like this book. I never listened to the audiobook before. I don't know if I love the audiobook. I mean, like, it's fine, but I feel like the narrator is purposely doing a southern accent, so it sounds forced.
Ew.
Mm.
Loving that necessarily, but like the book itself, I like the book.
Okay. What did Julie do that sprint?
Julie had lunch.
Good for Julie. Margaret needs to have lunch at some point.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that my lunch is going to consist of cake.
That's a good lunch, man.
That's a fun lunch.
I'm pretty sure that's what my lunch is going to be. So
It's a really good lunch.
I hope it's good cake.
Yeah.
We shall find out.
Is it Publix? It probably isn't Publix cake. You're up north.
Yeah, we don't have Publix here.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, it is what it is.
It's like the gold standard down here for reasons. Not sure if it actually isn't good compared to other cakes. Haven't been able to eat it in a while.
Here, the one that everybody used to always get was from Kmart, which doesn't exist anymore. So I don't know where they buy cakes from. I haven't bought a cake, and so I just make them myself. So
yeah,
I
have to make them myself. So there's that.
I mean, I like to decorate cakes. Like I used to, when my nieces and nephews were young, make like crazy. Like I've made dragons, I've made princess castles, I've made a pirate skull. I've made all kinds of stuff. So
that's cool.
I like to make cakes.
They're fun to make.
Yes.
I can't make an icing that can survive outside the fridge, or at least I haven't found one that I can eat that can. So I have to be able to put it in the fridge. And currently we haven't, like, our fridge is always packed right now. It's been a while since there's been enough room in the fridge for me to put a cake in there. Unfortunately.
That's fair. I mean, times are tough.
Times are tough, man.
When you have special food dietary needs. Let's see how our friends did, and then we'll run away to Margaret's channel, which if you're here and you're not following along with the playlist, Margaret's video is linked in the description box down below next to her name. So it is there.
Appreciate that.
It does exist. Tina says, I'm not finding many spoiler article videos on Flamefall Fury song. Maybe they'll show up later on. Maybe you should crowdsource our friends here on the YouTube and see if anyone has read it and is willing to discuss it with you.
Brianna has. Brianna loves that. And Brittany has read the second one, I know.
Yeah.
So, internet friends, if you've read those books and you would like to tell Tennille what happens, find Tennille. Tell Tennille what happens. Kelly listened to a podcast. Jean is going to be reading Ashes and the Starcursed King and is currently at 14%. Kendra says, is it because of allergies?
Yes, I have real bad dairy allergies. So, yeah, like That's always been an issue, and they've done something to their cakes. Like I used to be able to eat the Publix cakes, and they've chosen to. I think they've changed something because I can't anymore. So, not sure what they have changed, but I know that icing is a lot easier to do when you can do dairy. So I assume that they've added some sort of butter or something to it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jen read a chapter. This is Alex, right? Refresh my memory.
Yes, this is Alex.
Yep.
Okay. Alex got to 76%. Listen, sometimes I remember and sometimes I don't. I don't have a good memory. Still feeling sick between my sinuses and ear infection, running my weekend, been switching between fantasy, romance, manga, and mystery thrillers. That's a lot of switching around, but hopefully, yes, healing vibes so you can go to work on Monday.
Go take 7 naps. Naps, your body heals while you sleep.
Kendra says bakery items would be difficult to find non-dairy.
Yeah. They're easy to make non-dairy, but they're difficult to find. And unfortunately, like I can do dairy if it's been baked and it's not a lot, but it's a lot harder when it's like icing or something like that.
Yeah. One of the girls who was here with my writing friends for the writers retreat is celiac.
Yeah.
Girl. She is not allergic, but she has issues processing it. So it does make her very sick, but it's not going to kill her. So she tries to stay away from it as much as possible because naturally you would.
She's got it easy. I know people that cannot do any sort of dairy, or it sends them to the hospital.
Yeah.
Like I know it comes in, but whew.
But yeah, it's just like we usually try to make at least 1 or 2 meals at the house. And so like you have to think about like not only not putting gluten into things, but like
not cross-contaminating.
Yeah. And yeah. So it's like I made my things at home and cleaned the whole kitchen, made all of the non-gluten things first.
Yeah.
And then made the gluten things, which I'm used to doing because I have a cousin who's allergic to peanuts. And it is that luckily she's not like allergic to the smell because she's the one who has all of the kids. So like if you had 9 kids, like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are easy. And she can't make them, but the kids can eat them because if it gets on her skin, it breaks her out and she can't eat it because it causes her to go to anaphylactic shock. But because of that, like when I do like all of my Christmas cookie baking, I do all of the non-peanut butter peanut cookies first, and then make sure that they're labeled and in their own container and put away, and then I make all of the peanut buttery things. So
I have there's somebody we've known from homeschooling that the daughter developed celiacs. They have to use full, like they can't even clean stuff. They have a full set of like stuff that that can be used that has no gluten touching it. They can't even like cook things in the oven at the same time. Oh yeah. It's wild. Like they have to basically live celiac or gluten-free when she's down visiting.
It's kind of like from what I have come to understand that there are places where like where they have mixed families where some are kosher and some are not. And like they'll have an entire separate like kitchen, like a full kosher kitchen and a non-kosher kitchen, because you don't want to like use the same oven or the same microwave or anything that may have come in contact with the things that you don't want to have in your meals. So very similar to that. Like, could you imagine having to have 2 full kitchens in your house? Like,
yeah. I mean, honestly, and maybe it's just because this is how I grew up, is you don't eat the things that violate the people's dietary stuff. Everyone eats that way, which is how we lived for ages.
Yeah. Luckily, the only allergy that I have is shellfish, and my mom is not a seafood person anyway, so that has never really been a problem for us.
Yeah.
So, like, to the point that I didn't even know I was allergic to shellfish until I started working at Olive Garden because I came in contact with it on my skin. Because it had never been a food that we had ever eaten at my house. Mm-hmm. So
makes sense.
Tennille has a lot of food sensitivities and autoimmune diseases. So sometimes there's not only the sensitivity, but it triggers the immune system to hulk out and stir up all kinds of autoimmune issues. We don't want that. There is a Stuff Your Kindle event going on today.
I don't remember which genre it is.
I think today is romance, if I remember correctly. Don't tell Neva.
Neva's not listening. It's fine.
Is it romance today, or is it freaking mystery?
Mystery was the other day.
Yeah, I think mystery was like Thursday.
I'm not gonna lie to you, they tend to just like recycle the same books over and over for romance, so I probably have them all.
You're like, I already have read all of these, honestly.
Like, it's fine.
It's fine. This is the event of the day where I point you all again to Margaret's video linked down below, because it is our time for us to run away.
I appreciate that you waited until I was done braiding my hair to do that.
I mean, you were busy. I don't know how many of the faces on the screen you're going to see over there, but mine will not be one of them.
Go have fun at the birthday party.
I'm sure I will. I'm going to go hang out with my best friend. He's 3. So
yeah, have a piece of cake for me.
I will.
That's a fun age for a birthday party.
He's just fun in general. He's very smart. He's too smart for his own good. The last time I babysat him, we were sitting on the couch and he was playing on his tablet and I was playing on my phone, and I started to fall asleep and he started hitting me in the arm and he says, "Aunt Jess, you can't watch me with your eyes closed." I was like, "Well, you got me there, buddy."
That's a future. Somebody put him in some sort of safety management position, because that's what he's a future safety manager.
You can't watch me with your eyes closed. I was like, okay,
sir.
You got a point. You got me there. So, no napping while you're watching him, because you can't watch him if you're asleep.
I mean, he's not wrong. He is not wrong.
He is not wrong. That's rough.
Calm down, sir, though.
Right. It's going to be okay. Okay, I'm going to hit buttons. Everybody wave bye.
Bye.